Ba-ba-ba-bum. Da-da-da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun.
TC&Y detector milepost 59.4.
Bella.
TC&Y detector milepost 59.4. No defects. Repeat, no defects. Total cars 16. Detector out.
Alright. The passenger train's on the move again. Also, hello viewers in the chat. I am literally just relaxing on Railroader. Put my own personal save up for a little bit. It is heavily modded. And here's my Amtrak passenger train. And now what is it? What's it? Bleh, I can't talk. Where now it's heading for Bryson. Gonna turn around at Bryson and then head back to Silva. Freight service is done for the day. I mean, like I might just have another passenger train or have another train do a little bit of yard work. I don't know yet. I am just by myself. And we're just right now following the passenger train. I will show everyone Bryson. Alright. Show everyone my motive power. Right here are my road engines. SD40-2s. And a green, yellow, and white paint scheme. With some black. Right here is another set of engines that just sit here and literally do nothing until I figure out what their purpose is. Here's my little road switcher. It was an experimental paint scheme, so I have this on. I just gotta move these tankers somewhere else. And I know exactly where to put them. Right here is the inbound freight that I brought in for this interchange. Nothing too crazy. Just a couple of express cars. Well, let me rephrase that. A long line of express cars. But this train is mainly made out of bulkhead flat cars for modern equipment. And a few tankers. So chat, so I already have the grain elevator set to tier 5 for tomorrow. But I feel like I should ask. Hold on, let me move these cargoes. Out of these industries, which other one should I have unlocked? I already have Cross Freight Express and the grain loader. But I'm thinking about also unlocking the Southern Chemical one. The Kirkland Coal one, I don't want to put that stress on us because it's only 2 people that run this railroad. I mean, the sugar mill, I don't know. But nothing on this part, from Whittier to Silva, or Silva to Whittier. But Ella, it's a 50-50 on what I put up. I'm just trying to think of what You know what? I'll put this at tier 5 as well. Only so that way there's actual freight being moved. Right now these engines are just for show and tell until I find a train that I can put them on. Leave that there. I'm actually going to do something. Where's the freight cars? One of my freight. You know what? Spawn a couple of these in. Operations, unload. Load. Eeps. Now, should I paint these boxcars into our paint scheme? Amtrak train underspaced. Freight cars moving. $800. Wow. All right. And that train go here. Number 401. There's a little bit of freight switching. This railroad is a short line. However, we do have the Class 1 railroad engines, like SD60s and SD60Ms. Then we have this MP5 or MP15. Coaling tower, never gonna use it. I'm actually gonna run around and put this boxcar somewhere. Well, this one is a TNR. This one's actually named after my city and the two cities that my other friends play this game with. Unfortunately, our one friend hasn't been on in a while, but yeah. And out of many Youngstown railroads I own, this is probably going to be the final one. Don't have any plans to do another one. A long time I was the Montreal, Maine, and Atlantic Railroad, but that failed due to some save issues. So instead, I just decided to say, screw it. We got rid of the MMA and the C&O Railroad, and we just became one railroad under one name. Alright, removing that there. Kind of, sort of like a merger. I'll move these easels over. So that way, a little bit more working room. Actually, you know what? No. Logo right here. I'll actually show you guys the other part of the railroad very soon. Yeah, that was RS5T. Right now, that's the only locomotive that has an RS5T right now. I might do another one, like put it on a Jeep or something. For this one is, hold on, let me find it. It is a Leslie RS3K that was made in 1995. Here are the SD40-2s that I use a whole lot. Let me find the horn. So 7002 has the Leslie RS3L, and 7000 has the what the heck is this thing called? Another Leslie RS3K. Actually, let's select this. Need to actually gotta make sure that's that. Customize, build, horn. Okay. So make sure that's that. And this is the paint scheme, like I said earlier. We have the green, the yellow, and the white. I actually might make everything, I'm actually going to probably make it everything that darker green instead of that lighter green. Alright, so, let me actually change this up real fast. Customize. Paint. There's just so much of it that's why it looks brighter, and probably because it's also in the sunlight too. Let me actually change the yellow on that, see if I can. And this might need more black to it. Yeah, I'm going to make the ditch lights black. And then make that black. Ew, no. Copy and paste. Alright, so I need to figure out, like, what... So, I need to colorize the numbers. I need to make the number boards black. Handbrakes. I'm going to make a black wheel, because I don't like that. Handrails. Get those white. Cab. PTC, make that black. Make the horn black as well. Where is the number board? That's where I'm looking for. Alright, now. Keep that. Should I have the headlight visor? I don't know. Nah, I don't want that strobe. Okay. I'll leave it like that. Alright, next up, real quick, I need to mess with my passenger train real fast. Here it is in all of its glory, the Amtrak livery passenger trains. This Amtrak train has a very, very loud horn. Make sure that's set to normal. Alright, now it's on its return trip to Silva. Throw the switch back to normal. I'm keeping them in the Amtrak livery for now until I get the colorable ones to customize our passenger paint scheme unit. Oh, I do agree on that one, TNRR, about loud horns being necessary, but this one, it is extremely loud. Which is why what I'm going to show you at this railroad crossing, headphone users be warned. That's the Amtrak horn that I have on the P42. One of the more shorter trains, but since we don't have a whole lot of industries active, and basically none at all, we can actually afford to run a passenger train. We'll be getting a second one here, probably once more of the line gets unlocked. This is the interior of the P42. Oh, iPhone user warning. But yeah, that's the Amtrak horn. Yeah, that's the one thing that I like about this game that other train games really don't do, is that they actually simulate the engine rocking back and forth. Especially around the curves. Like, I'll wait for the horn, the last grade crossing, to actually show you. Yeah. But yeah, this game does a awesome version of having trains rock back and forth. The P-42s, they're okay, but just wait until I get into the passenger cars. Because eventually I'm going to get into those, and we'll actually get into one of these scenic cars, so that way you guys can actually see the full-on railroad. Because I haven't shown you, I don't remember if anyone has seen the Whittier part of the subdivision. A little bit of a lag spike there. Oh, right here is the grain elevator, by the way. That's where going to be the MP15 is going to go, be a local train. And then I'm just going to store a crap load of grain hoppers here, and then I think that's what I'm going to have the those SD60s pull our unit grain trains. At least for Silva. Let me actually try to get in one. Damn, let me in. I don't think. Maybe I have to enter from one of the other passenger cars. Oh well, back to the cab. I could always try to enter them from the next station. But where would be the fun in adventure in that? I just wanted to get this shot real fast. Safety? Maybe. Proud service? Definitely. This is like the only train on the main line. Tell that to the Class 1's TNRR. 'Cause 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 'C By the way, here is the secondary main for the Ella side of things. Say if there was a passenger train here, and there was a freight train coming, the freight train would take this secondary main line. Yeah, right now my railroad's very short. Oh, by the way, if you have not seen the previous West Virginia Southern live stream about the 4th of July parade that we did, little heads up for everyone, we have red marble unlocked. Okay, so I can't get inside for whatever stupid reason. I think I know how to cheese it. Let me try getting into this passenger car. Nope. See if I can cheese it like this. Select that. Control 0. Let me try something else. Okay. There is no open the door mechanic, I don't think. Yeah, weird. Oh well. We'll just have to watch the beauty of it from the cab. Actually, you know what? This going looks so funny, but it might actually be worth it. Alright. Clear this. Passenger car. Hold on. Okay. Here we are. Now at least I know this one I could get in. I spawned in another car so that way I could show you guys the view from an observation point of view. Alright. Go in here. Oh yeah, that's the thing in this game. It is the one of the few unrealistic parts of this game. This is actually one of the few times I've actually just been able to sit back and relax. Oh my gosh, I actually had it at a bar. I can't believe it. They actually added a bar into this model. Yep, here we are. Actually, take a look. Does this actually look good with it? Actually, it kind of does. Private car. That's what that is. I won't have passengers selected in this one since yeah. I already got passengers in the other cars, and I actually want everyone to see. Seats are a little crooked, but I really don't care. There's a seat to look out this window. But this is what the secondary main looks like. You got private railroad, well, you got unprotected railroad crossings. So every time when a train comes through there, they gotta stop to flag the crossing.
TC&Y detector milepost 59.4.
And that was the defect detector that we just are going over now pretty soon. And as much as that looks like it's going to be in the way, when we actually collide with it, it actually does a secondary defect detector reading on the second main line. So that's another thing that I like about these defect detectors.
TC&Y detector milepost 59.4. No defects. Repeat, no defects. Total cars 17. Detector out.
Alrighty. But if you guys have any questions about my railroad, feel free to ask. Right now we're on the Bryson subdivision, and we'll be going on to the Silva subdivision after we pass through East Whittier. There's the head end. Where are we at on the map? Okay, we're going to be pulling into Whittier soon. But yeah, chat, if you have any questions about this railroad or any questions for me in general, feel free to ask. I usually add mods every week or something, see if what catches my interest. Slowing down for Whittier. Blowing the horn for the Whittier Railroad crossing. I'm literally just putting my feet up and relaxing at this point. Something that I hardly ever do in this game is actually just ride a passenger train. Right there is Hall, Field, and Stencil, but once again I have those turned off to help save on lag and frame rate for my one buddy. East Whittier Yard is gonna look depressing. Especially on the West Virginia Southern. But this is like one of the few times where I'm just going to sit back and relax. Every now and then, like, it won't be until 6 a.m. tomorrow when freight will get ran. All depends if my buddy Ash will get on or not. But we're about to go onto his part of the line. Alright. Money, money, money. We made it out of clay. Alright. Train's on the move again. Alright, I don't remember showing anyone anything beyond Whittier. But anyways, here's the end of the double section line for the Bryson subdivision. Because now we're entering East Whittier. Right here is the logging part of the railroad, which has now been abandoned. Probably never going to see a train again as we cross over the diamond. And right there's a tunnel for it. That part of the railroad was heavily used when the sawmill was operational, but since the sawmill got turned off, there's like no use for it anymore. Right here is where I would start getting ready to pull in to go onto my part of the railroad. We got some boxcars stored here. Nothing too crazy. There's the sawmill. Well, there's more than enough room for car storage. Like, look at all these tracks just sitting here. There's some coal cars just sitting here. Like, we got more than enough room for car storage. And right here is the other part of the train yard, which also sees little to no use, just for repair parts. But yeah, I think we have plenty enough room for car storage on this part of the line. Like even here, here's some more tracks for car storage. And here's a long ass side dead end track right here. Over there is the sugar mill, but I have that turned off for another reason until we decide, or if we get another person on, then we'll activate some of the industries on here again, but until then, most of these places are just sitting abandoned. Like here's another train yard that's being used for storage. And basically abandoned. Clean out the window. And here's the buffers to that dead end track that I was saying about. But yeah, that's East Whittier now. Very sad. But now we're getting to the interesting part. Because now we are on the Silva subdivision. It's single track for a little bit, but let me actually lean out this window. It's single track for right now, but once we round this corner, I think everyone will like it. Here we have where the main line splits up for triple track for a little bit.
TC&Y detector milepost 55.0.
Yes, triple track main line for a bit. Almost like the racetrack in Chicago.
TC&Y detector milepost 55.0. No defects. Repeat, no defects. Total cars 17. Detector out.
Right here is another crossover switch. Once we get to Silva, I will be deleting this car, only for the fact that there's like no room for this train to fit into the Silva Y anymore. Now that I added this car, I mean, it might fit, I don't know, to be honest. Right here is the end of the triple track, and it goes back down to double for the rest of the way. There are more triple track spots, but those are mainly for sidings, for like storage areas. Right now we're getting ready to approach Wilmot. We actually paralleled the road for a little ways. Right here is the entrance to the Wilmot Industries, once again turned off for a reason. like I said before, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Right, we arrived at Wilmot. People getting on and off here. Probably won't be using timetables on this train, because this train will literally run whenever the hell it runs. On the move again. Over the Wilmot Railroad crossing, and back to the wilderness. We're actually approaching one of my favorite bridges of all time. What kind of weird crossover diamond is that? Yeah, I know, right? But we're back into the wilderness. Right now, we're probably in the Horseshoe Curve part of the map. Yes, we are. Wilmot Horseshoe Curve. It's not like the real Horseshoe Curve in Altoona, but it's close enough. But there is one part of the railroad that it's actually worth paying the money to see. Should be passing through Barker's very soon. This just seems like a good time for like a Q&A live stream. You know what? Let's actually turn it into that. Chat, question time, ask a question, and I'll do my best to answer it. Railroad related. Since that's literally like, what else is there to do on this game? Right now. I tried to go for a dark green on that one, TNRR, to be honest. I'm just having a hard time finding what shade of green I want on that, due to the fact that, yeah, getting the exact paint scheme you want is kind of hard, because the last couple paint schemes have been the same. It's either been black and blue and white, or maroon, white, and gold. So I decided to change it up a little bit by doing a green and white paint scheme. However, here's markers. We're approaching another railroad crossing. We're so far away from the head end that I can't even hear it. I guess, to be honest, oh, here's a weird sighting real fast. But anyways, I guess what kind of like motivated me to paint the locomotives green was just to have something different, to be honest. Like, I've always went with the same colors over and over again, that I finally painted them something different, like a color I would not normally paint. The only vehicle in the game, by the way. And right here would be the start for Cowie grade, but I removed that with the double track mod, and you'll see why. Oh, the adorable little shit, that's what number 2 is. But that's kind of like why I painted the locomotives green, yellow, and white with that little bit of black. It's just to have something different. Like, everything's always been the same color. I'll see what I can do with the mild green. I mean, truth be told, that's going to be a little bit hard. Easier said than done, since the paint is so interesting on this. But most of the time, we probably won't be running freight trains at night. I think the most, like, we only ran like 2 freight trains, and that was it. Oh, by the way, we're approaching my favorite bridge right now in this game, next to the Fontana Bridge. I actually go from this side. Actually, is it? How far away is it? But, okay. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. If I can find a nice medium green that I like, I'll definitely paint it into that. But here's the scenic part of the railroad that I don't think I've shown anyone. Yeah, but right here, I think it's this turn coming up, where we cross the famous wooden trestle. Yeah, here it is. Look at this right here. A double track wooden trestle. That right there is one of the more beautiful things I can never see in this game, next to the Fontana Bridge. Also, I do not get that reference, no. But we're starting to exit the scenery part, and we're going to get back into more civilization parts. We're going to be in scenery for a little while longer. But soon we're going to be entering civilization again. I have not heard that group before, or that song, TNRR. I'll listen to it later. But more mountains, more trees, river, train. Right there is the original bridge for the Cowie grade. And yeah, they left it right here to show like where the original tracks were gonna be. So that's where if I didn't have the double track mod, that's right where the main line would be. Just goes to show that that part was abandoned now. And we're back to a triple track main line for a little bit. You know what? I just got an idea. I could probably turn my passenger route into something similar like the Rocky Mountain Ear. That would actually be nice to see. Alright. This technically is the end of the triple track because this track leads straight into the Dillsboro Yard that never sees any use and is never going to on this railroad. The only time it's going to see a use is for when there's an overflow, and that's never going to happen. But yeah, here's the Dillsboro Yard. You've all seen it on the WVS, but this is like the upgraded version of it. Multiple, more switches. Never heard the AI do something like that before. But anyways, this is the passenger service. Hold on. Because now it's just going to be a ride to Silva. And I really don't want to bore a whole lot of people with that. But I'll show you the other part of the yard. The other part of the map, since we're still on the Silva subdivision. my buddy Ash, he controls this part of the railroad. Another GD. DD. 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 Here's the Silva station. Goes back to single track. And here's the railroad part of things. This is the Y for the passenger train to go down. Obviously Silva, nothing interesting really here until you get closer to the interchange. Alright, let me know when you guys are ready to see it. I won't. This mouse ain't moving until we get confirmation in the chat that people are ready to see what's in Silva. This is what's in Silva right here. Some more unique diesels. But first off, I have to show off this little dinky, tiny steam engine. That's adorable. Yes, and this is a nickel plate railroad caboose that we have just stored here. Now, these are my buddy Ash's engines. He has this U30B slug right here. We have a Genesee, Wyoming GE-9 44 CLW. And we got another one of those in the form of British Columbia. Otherwise known as BC Rail. And, for some reason, only in this locomotive, hold on, let me get in here, take a look at what's on the seat, chat. Only in this locomotive, there's a kitty cat, and a Tim Hortons. Right over here is a Santa Fe steam engine with a Berkshire tender and our auxiliary water tender. I'm not sure if there's a difference to the interior of the nickel plate caboose. Doesn't really look like it. But these are the cars where I bring... But this is Ash's interchange for the Silva subdivision. And right here is what he brought in from my part of the railroad on the Bryson sub. We obviously got the express freight. One of these boxcars alone are worth $300. But here's the real kicker. Look at the size of this boxcar. We have 86-foot long boxcars now added into the game since I have mod power. And obviously the high cube coal cars that hold 100-ton worth of coal. $100-ton worth of building supply, and that's about it on this railroad. We might be pulling more freight soon. Like I said, I'm still debating on whether or not to even have those industries active. I might just turn them off and disable them. Oh, that's a nice little history. But yeah. Anyways, this is probably going to be it for this live stream. Just wanted mainly did it because I was bored. Oh, real fast, since I'm live. How would everyone feel about if I did a horror gameplay? Like horror. Like, because I got this game called Phasmophobia, and my one buddy has it as well, and we got to talking, and we're thinking about maybe turning it into a horror YouTube series. Alright. Well, everyone, that's going to do it for this episode, this video on Railroader, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good day, and I'll see y'all in the next live stream or something else. Take care, folks.